Have you ever wondered why some women captivate men to the point of unforgettable obsession, while others, despite their best efforts, seem to fade into invisibility? It's not because they lack allure. There exists a profound feminine energy that most never tap into. And it is this energy that acts as an intoxicating elixir at the level of the unconscious. According to Carl Jung, every true connection between two people stems not from words or actions, but from a collision of souls that awakens ancient unconscious forces within them. When a woman unwittingly embodies this archetype, she becomes the very thing a man has always yearned to find, though he cannot name it. In simple terms, men are not addicted to you. They are addicted to the feeling you evoke. A woman who is both familiar and mysterious, tender yet indifferent, present yet unattainable. She is a spiritual storm from which a man cannot escape. In this video, I will reveal the 7 secret layers of feminine energy capable of awakening primal obsession in a man's mind, not through appearances, but through the depths of your being. Some of these layers may shock you as you've lived with them without ever realizing it. Stay until the end, for the final secret will not only make him obsessed, but may also lead you to see yourself in an entirely new light. Number 1. The anima and the awakening of primal emotions. Within every man's soul resides an image of a woman he cannot put into words. It doesn't come from the women he meets in real life, but from within him, from the unconscious, from myths, from ancestral experiences passed down through thousands of generations. Carl Jung called this the anima, the inner feminine archetype dwelling in a man's heart and mind, an inseparable part of his being. The anima isn't the idealized woman shaped by societal standards. It's not necessarily like his mother, an ex-lover, or any specific archetype. The anima is a composite of emotions, images, and intuitions that a man craves but doesn't possess. Softness, emotional depth, sacredness, and mystery. When a woman enters his life and inadvertently activates these emotional layers without reason, he feels drawn to her like a primal force he cannot comprehend. This is the awakening of a man's deepest essence, where reason holds no sway, where logic cannot intervene. And because it's beyond his control, it becomes an obsession. Jung said that when the anima is activated, a man no longer sees a woman as a mere individual. She becomes a symbol. And because of this, he doesn't simply love her. He craves her as if searching for himself. The 7 secrets begin. Now, let me share something that might surprise you. Last week, I was having coffee with a friend who's a therapist, and she told me about a client who couldn't understand why she kept attracting the wrong kind of attention. Beautiful, successful, kind, but men would either friend-zone her or lose interest quickly. The answer wasn't in what she lacked. It was in what she was unconsciously suppressing. She was living an emotional monotone, like a song played in only one key. And that brings us to our first secret. Secret 1. The power of emotional contrast. There's a simple yet rarely recognized truth. Men aren't addicted to you as a person. They're addicted to the feelings you stir within them. And those feelings don't come from being cute or sensual, nor from always being kind, accommodating, or well-behaved. They arise from emotional movement, something that leaves them disoriented, alive, intrigued, and unable to look away. This is emotional contrast, a powerful psychological phenomenon rarely taught anywhere. It's not a tactic. It's instinct. It's how you create crescendo and then fall silent. It's how you make him laugh and then leave a pause that makes him want to know you more. It's how you shift from bright to introspective, from tender to candid, from warm to proud without contradiction. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine you're at a dinner party. Everyone's making small talk, laughing at predictable jokes. Then you share something, maybe a playful observation that makes everyone chuckle. But when someone mentions something deeper, your expression shifts. Your voice becomes quieter, more thoughtful. You share something genuine, something that reveals a layer most people never show at parties. The man sitting across from you feels something shift in his chest. He's not just hearing words, he's witnessing depth. He's seeing someone who isn't performing a role, but living authentically in each moment. That's when his anima stirs, recognizing something it's been searching for. The psychology behind attraction. Secret 2, emotional self-mastery. Here's where most dating advice gets it wrong. It tells you to be mysterious, to play hard to get, to follow rules and timelines. But real magnetism? It comes from a place much deeper than strategy. It comes from emotional self-mastery. Carl Jung once wrote, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." A truly captivating woman doesn't need a man to feel whole. She doesn't need love to prove her worth. She doesn't need to be chosen to know she's deserving. I remember watching my grandmother interact with people. She lost my grandfather when I was young, but she never seemed incomplete. She'd wake up every morning, make her coffee, tend to her garden, call her friends. When someone expressed interest in her, she'd smile warmly but never desperately. She had this quiet confidence that said, "I'm wonderful company, but I'm also wonderful alone." That's emotional self-mastery. It's not about being cold or distant. It's about being so secure in your own worth that you can love freely without clinging, give generously without keeping score, and walk away gracefully when something isn't serving you. Modern psychology calls this emotional regulation, the ability to manage your emotional state without relying on external validation. Most people are addicted to their phones, to likes, to messages, to constant reassurance. But a woman with emotional self-mastery, she can feel all the feelings without being controlled by them. Secret 3, the art of sacred mystery. Now, let's talk about mystery. Not the kind where you play games or withhold information to seem interesting. I'm talking about sacred mystery, the kind that comes from having depths that can't be fully explored in a single conversation. Think about your favorite book or movie. What made it captivating? Was it the parts where everything was explained in detail? Or was it the moments where you had to lean in, pay attention, fill in the gaps with your imagination? A woman with sacred mystery isn't hiding who she is. She's just not giving everything away at once. She's like a beautiful piece of music. You can hear the melody, but there are harmonies and depths that reveal themselves over time. I once knew a woman who, when asked about her weekend plans, would say something like, "I'm meeting an old friend for coffee, then who knows what adventure will find me." Not secretive, not evasive, just leaving space for curiosity. She understood that the human mind is naturally drawn to complete incomplete patterns, the deeper secrets. Secret 4, the joy of being fully yourself. Here's something that took me years to understand. The most magnetic people aren't trying to be magnetic. They're too busy being delighted by their own lives performed for anyone else's approval. There's this woman I know who laughs at her own jokes before anyone else does. She gets excited about things that don't matter to most people, like the way light hits her coffee cup in the morning, or a song that comes on a radio that reminds her of being 17. She's not trying to be quirky or different. She's just genuinely amused by life. When you're with her, you feel lighter, not because she's entertaining you, but because her joy is contagious. She's not waiting for someone to make her happy. She's already happy, and she's generous enough to share it. This is what Jung meant when he talked about individuation. Becoming who you truly are, not who you think you should be. It's permission to like what you like, to find joy in small things, to be silly sometimes, to take yourself seriously about the things that matter to you. Secret 5, the power of presence. In our hyper-connected world, true presence has become a superpower. I'm not talking about putting your phone away during dinner, though that's a start. I'm talking about the ability to be fully here, in this moment, with this person, without your mind wandering to your to-do list or your insecurities. Real presence is when you're listening not just to respond, but to understand. When someone is telling you about their day, you're not thinking about your own day. You're right there with them, feeling what they felt, seeing what they saw. This kind of presence is healing. In a world where everyone is distracted, being truly seen and heard is like water in a desert. Men especially, who often aren't used to being emotionally witnessed, find this incredibly powerful. But presence isn't just about how you listen. It's about how you show up. When you're fully present, you're not performing or pretending. You're just being. And that authenticity is magnetic in ways that performance never can be. The advanced principles. Secret 6, strategic scarcity. Now we get to one of the most misunderstood concepts in attraction, scarcity. Most people think this means playing hard to get, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the natural scarcity that comes from having a full, rich life. When you have your own interests, your own friends, your own goals, you're not always available. Not because you're trying to be unavailable, but because you have a life that doesn't revolve around any one person. Think about it this way. If someone could have all of your time and attention whenever they wanted, without any effort on their part, would they value it? Or would they value it more if they had to earn it? if spending time with you meant something. This isn't about manipulation. It's about natural consequence. When you have a full life, people have to step up to be part of it. And when they do step up, when they make effort, they become more invested. It's basic human psychology. Secret 7, creating space for investment. The final secret ties everything together. When you embody all these qualities, emotional contrast, self-mastery, mystery, joy, presence, and natural scarcity, you create something magical. You create space for the other person to step into their best self. Men, like all humans, want to feel useful, valued, appreciated. But if you're always handling everything yourself, always being the one who initiates, always being the one who cares more, you rob them the chance to invest in you. Investment creates attachment. When someone does something for you, helps you, supports you, they don't just like you more, they become more attached to you. It's called the Benjamin Franklin effect in psychology. When we do favors for someone, we like them more, not less. But this only works if you're worthy of investment. If you have your own life, your own value, your own completeness. Then, when someone chooses to invest in you, it feels like a privilege, not an obligation. The integration. So, how do you integrate all of this? How do you become this kind of woman without it feeling like you're playing a role? First, remember that these aren't techniques to practice on people. They're ways of being that arise naturally when you do the inner work. When you truly love yourself, you don't need external validation. When you're genuinely interested in life, you're naturally interesting. When you're at peace with yourself, you radiate calm. Second, understand that this isn't about becoming someone else. It's about becoming more yourself. Every woman has this potential within her. The question isn't whether you can be magnetic. It's whether you're willing to stop hiding your magnetism. Third, be patient with the process. Real transformation doesn't happen overnight. It's about small, consistent choices to honor yourself, to live authentically, to love without losing yourself. I want to leave you with a question that Carl Jung himself might have asked. Are you ready to stop trying to be what you think others want and start being who you actually are? Because here's the truth. The right person won't just be attracted to the real you. They'll be grateful for the courage it took for you to show up authentically in a world that's always asking you to be someone else. The anima Jung spoke of, it's not some impossible ideal. It's a recognition of wholeness, depth, and authenticity. It's the part of the feminine that doesn't need to prove itself because it simply is. You don't need to become this woman. You already are her. You just need to remember. If this resonates with you, if you felt something shift as you listened, then you're ready for this journey. The journey back to yourself. The journey to wholeness. The journey to the kind of magnetism that doesn't need to try because it simply is. Remember, you're not the wind because you're trying to be uncatchable. You're the wind because you're free. You're not the light because you're trying to be seen. You're the light because you shine. And that, more than any technique or strategy, is what true magnetism looks like. Are you ready to embark on this path?